Hey everyone!
Here we go. Hey everyone, and welcome back to this week's Day in Life of Gabriel, right? That's what we called it.
Yes.
I am Ricky, the father of Gabriel.
And I'm Allie. Nice to see everyone again. Thanks for tuning in. So this is officially I'm assuming the first episode that we're doing.
Absolutely.
And last week we touched a little bit about what we'll be talking about, what we'll be discussing in our videos. And this week we wanted to talk about what led us to getting him evaluated and what ultimately led to his diagnosis.
So one of the things we're most proud of, absolutely, is the fact that Gabriel's still 1 year old. His birthday is coming up, and he is diagnosed with autism. The fact that we got a diagnosis so early, before he's even 2 years old, is amazing, and that is strictly because of the research that's online, all the good tools and help aids there are online to kind of see if your kid is potentially autistic. It's been just nothing but a good experience all in all. The community for autism is amazing.
Very strong.
And they're all about support and like, hey, do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? So we something we're very proud of, honestly, the fact that we did get it this early. Again, it's kind of really started at a year and 4 months to a year and 6 months is when we really started to question if he had it. And it's been almost 6 months later, and he's already come so far. The brain doesn't actually fully develop, and it sets its ways until 3 years old. So we have a whole year to basically give Gabriel the tools he needs, the therapy he needs to lessen the symptoms, or I wouldn't say eradicate autism, but just to
manage.
Kind of help manage it and almost mask it to where you almost wouldn't even be able to know. So the fact that he's gesturing, the fact that he's speaking single words now, and just today he took my hand and led me to the vacuum. This is something he never did beforehand, and 1 to 1.5 year old should be doing. And so now that he's doing that, we're very hopeful that we're well on our way to see a lot of this early intervention really work for him.
He's starting to reach these milestones that we were hoping to see. So that alone is wonderful.
Wonders.
And to this day, autism remains unknown as to why it happens, and there's extensive research everywhere you look, but there's no definitive explanation to why it happens. Now there are theories here and there, whether it be genetics, which we did have him at his evaluation. We did have his cheek swabbed for a genetics test. So we're waiting on the results to come back with that. And that will dictate if it is genetic, then that explains kind of where it came from. It was on either Ricky or my side. Or there is theory that trauma or some sort of brain injury could have caused it. And maybe the rough delivery process maybe could have impacted that. We're not entirely sure. I mean, he had some bruising on his head, but I don't think it was to the point where it's injured his brain.
Psychologically,
yeah, hopefully not. But I guess that's why we are mentioning that. But he walked right before his first birthday. Took his first steps and started walking.
Yeah. And
then he was doing great developmentally up until after his birthday, a few months after his birthday, I'm assuming. He just started not hitting these milestones that he should have. And I remember I took him to his appointment, his I think it was
right?
year and a half appointment, the pediatrician, and they always have you fill out the sheet of paper to kind of assess
questionnaire.
Yeah, questionnaire. It's kind of assess, where Gabe is developmentally, and is he doing this and reaching for things and pointing and we were looking at you. Yeah,
nope,
and so I couldn't fill out hardly any of them because he hadn't mastered those yet. So that's when I started getting concerned, and so I brought it up to his pediatrician, and she suggested he be evaluated, and
immediately started him on speech therapy too.
Speech therapy started very shortly.
All right, so if you do a quick Google search on common signs of autism, I actually have it pulled up right here. There are just a few common signs. One is avoiding eye contact. We truly believe Gabriel never really experienced this. He did a really good job making eye contact with us. He would look at other people, even if it was briefly. He would very well look at you in the eyes. Delayed speech and communication skills. Now, this is where we believe it kind of all started for us. He used to actually say mama and dada right before his 1 year old, right before he turned 1. And then as the months started progressing, we noticed that he kind of just regressed, and he kind of stopped saying that. So that was one of the main concerns of why his pediatrician recommended he be evaluated. Reliance on rules and routines. You can talk on that.
Oh man, he desperately needs his routine. We have a very strict routine here at home. Quickly, we get up, we have breakfast. We have to have the vacuum out during
Absolutely
breakfast.
have to have the vacuum.
I mean, he's just a part of our everyday.
Every morning.
Yeah. So without him, he would throw an absolute fit. We do story time, we do activities. We go out for our walk, which is definitely essential. We have nap time, then lunch, then more story time, play time. He has a speech therapy on Tuesdays. And then at night we have a pretty strict routine about, winding him down, giving him melatonin because he doesn't sleep through the night. That has helped a little bit. But adhering to that schedule and routine has really helped us.
Absolutely.
And with his behavior. What is very interesting to us is when we are out of town or we go visit some family and we go against that routine, he does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
It's when we are at home and, we have friends over or, family over, and we can't always abide by that routine all the time. That's when things would get kind of difficult. He starts getting very fussy, and he starts just crying a lot, being a little bit more angry with things.
Which kind of hits on the next point, being upset by relatively minor changes.
Yes.
So, quick example, we'll go on a walk. I bring a basketball to kind of just bounce the basketball while we walk. Mommy will bring the umbrella stroller. So if he wants to have the option to sit, which sometimes he does, he'll get in it and we'll just kind of keep our walk. If we don't bring the basketball, he will freak out.
Or the stroller.
If we don't bring the stroller, he will freak out. So
both have to come.
It's part of the routine, absolutely. So if you even these minor changes, he will definitely let you know that he's upset, and will not want to do a walk until we fix his routine, essentially.
Or another thing, another example, the vacuum. If we don't have the vacuum out in the morning, like we said before, he will not eat breakfast.
Nope.
He will be very, very upset, clearly upset. They're a big old tantrum on the floor, kicking and screaming. So he definitely gets upset with relatively minor changes.
Absolutely.
Unexpected reactions to sounds, taste, sights, touch, and smells. So his biggest thing, he's gotten a lot better with fans, but every time we would walk in a place, or even in our house or someone else's house, he would automatically look at the ceiling for the fans. He was his eyes would be just glued to the fans.
Yep.
At first he would be very scared of them, and he would really just be terrified, and really, really crying. So for a while we couldn't figure out, what was causing that or why he was so timid around fans. But now he really enjoys looking at fans and lights whenever we go places. That's the first thing he notices when we go anywhere. And to this day, he loves Dad or me to spin the fan at our house.
He'll point to it, wanting me to spin it.
He's very fascinated by them. With touch, he's very particular about what he touches. He doesn't like anything that has a mushy texture or
shaving cream, whipped cream, none of that.
Just sandy. He doesn't like very hard, gritty textures. So he's definitely has reactions to that. With his taste, he has to have let's say for instance for dinner, he has to have his chicken nuggets crispy, or he won't eat them. So he has a very particular way of eating, and so that's definitely another thing. Difficulty understanding other people's emotions. I'm not sure how well he is aware of people's emotions right now. I think he's somewhat aware of when people cry or when babies cry.
He's concerned.
Yeah, you can tell he's apathetic and or empathetic. I'm sorry about it. And he'll try and bring them a toy or something to try and help them feel better. But we haven't noticed that too much yet, I think, because he's still rather young, so he's still processing that information still. Focusing on or becoming obsessed by a narrow range of interests or objects. So, yes, again, with the vacuum, that's his absolute favorite thing in the world. Very obsessed with it. He loves his cars and wheels. He's been in love with cars and wheels for a long time. That's his favorite thing to play with. He loves balls. That's his other favorite toy to play with. So I think those are his 3 big obsessions. He engages in repetitive behaviors such as flapping hands or rocking. He loves to rock and bring mom and dad with him when we're sitting with him and he rocks. He'll just grab onto our necks and really rock back and forth kind of violently. It hurts a lot, but it's not the safest thing because sometimes he'll hit his head, so we're trying to get him to stop that. But he does it mainly out of excitement and joy. He does flap his hands, especially when he's excited. Or sometimes he does it when he's overstimulated, but more so when he's expressing happiness and joy.
So children are responding to their name by 12. That's another example. He will respond to his name like 40% of the time. We'll just sit there and say, Gabe, hey Gabriel, Gabe, Gabriel, Gabe, look at this, look buddy, look. And eventually he will look at what you're looking at. For a while, when we point to an object, something on the wall, he would never look at where you were pointing. But over time, as he kind of grew up and he went through speech therapy, he started learning to do gestures more. He started to look at what you were looking at, kind of saying,
looking at what you're pointing.
And then it said, last one's children not pointing at distant objects by 14 months. So these are things you're supposed to be doing early on. And again, every kid kind of hits these milestones at different times. But because we were at 1.5 years now and he wasn't hitting a lot of these milestones, that's kind of where our general concern was. So we enrolled in speech therapy, and let's talk a little bit about that. So speech therapy was amazing.
It's been wonderful from the start. They were very thorough in their initial assessment with us.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, they really wanted to get to know us, wanted to get to know Gabe, his routine, just our initial involvement in this process as well. And they come every week. And
Tuesdays.
Yep, on Tuesdays, and he loves it. He gets excited every time he sees his speech therapist.
He does.
And it's always very engaging. So she really tries to get him to pronounce words with the toys that she brings. So it's through play therapy. So since then, he can say, he has probably a 10, 11 word vocabulary now. He can say go. He can say cat, apple, moon, eat, ball.
He's attempting to say vacuum now because we do it every morning.
He's attempting to say that. He says a few other words, but the biggest thing that he's doing is sign language. So that's something else they incorporate. The speech therapist incorporates. She gives us a sheet with different words that we can try for sign language. And we hang it on our fridge and we abide by it for the week. And she also gives us activities we can do to help progress his speech along. So he's really gotten really well with sign language and with communicating what he needs. So for eat, he knows to do eat. For drink, he knows to drink. Let's see, if he needs help, he knows how to ask for help.
He does this.
Again or next, he knows that. Let's see, what other words does he know?
Just please, thank you.
Please, thank you.
Kind of your generic, polite sign languages.
Manners.
He does a good job. Sometimes we have to say it for him to initial a sign, and other times, like help. If he really needs help, he'll automatically start raising his hands like this, and this is the actual sign language for it. And he would automatically know that he needs help. He would start signing for it, and we knew that he needed help. So one of the biggest things that has come along with speech therapy was gesturing. Gabriel,
he can point. He points all the time now.
Yes.
He never used to point before speech therapy.
Ever. He would.
We tried to do what we could to help, but it would just.
One great thing about us as being his parents is we were really good at anticipating what he needed. So if we knew that he was trying to get the water, we would put the water. We'd give him the water. Right? We wouldn't let him give him the opportunity to point. He would kind of look at it very briefly, kind of look at you, and we knew what he wanted, but. We learned over time through speech therapy that we needed to sometimes sabotage and kind of say, what are you pointing at? What do you want? Do you want, and just grab an object you know he doesn't want and see if he'll respond with yes or no. And over time, he got to the point where he started to point, and we're like, wow, this is so cool. Mm-hmm. We can actually know what he wants. He clearly wants that. So that was one of the best things for us. We knew that we were starting to head into a right direction.
He's come very far thanks to speech therapy, and once he starts ABA therapy, I know we're very hopeful that he will develop even more and grow so much from that as well. On top of that, he's starting to babble to himself during play, and he babbles. He babbled before, but he babbles even more now. We think that that's promising for his future language. So that's definitely been very helpful for us. Let's see, some things I guess that we tried to do to incorporate to help with his speech. Reading, of course.
Yes.
He loves to read his books.
Loves his books.
Trying to get him to point to different colors and shapes and animals, things like that. It has really helped him as well understand the different colors, what the different shapes look like, the different animals. Like I said, these things work for us, but every parent is different with incorporating things that may help their kid, especially just by trying to go by their interests as well, because these are just some of Gabe's interests. That's, I guess, the number one reason why I wanted to make this video for you guys. Just as kind of a reference, especially if you are a parent who also have concerns that your kid may possibly have autistic tendencies. Hopefully this can serve as an aid or be helpful to you in determining that. But like I said, this is just our story. The best thing to do is, if you have those concerns, is definitely bring them up to your pediatrician.
Yes.
Be very cognizant, I guess, of their developmental skills, and then maybe your pediatrician will want to have them evaluated as well, and that's initially the best thing to do. So
absolutely.
We thank you guys so much for watching and supporting us. We really are just overwhelmed with all the love and support that you guys have shown us. And hopefully next video you guys can see Gabe. He's currently napping, but
dude is out.
Yes, he would have loved to say hi, but thanks again, and we will see you guys next week.
All right. So again, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below.
We'll be happy to answer them.
If you have anything you want us to cover, a little go more in depth, please leave that comment below as well. And again, please follow, share, and subscribe. It'll help us out tremendously. So we love you all, and hope you guys have a good week.
Bye.
Bye. Do you want it off? Gabriel, do you want it off? Yes? Okay.
Good job, Gabe.
Okay. And it's off. All right, yeah. What's that? Yep, that's where we put it. Good job, right there. Good job.
You want to put
wanna
it back?
share with Daddy? All right. And can you say thank you? Thank you, Daddy.
Thank you.
And on. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you say thank you? All right.
Gabe, thank you.
Off. Can we put it on? Yep, it goes.